said. I won't go over that at the moment. What I would say is, first, he did acknowledge the importance of these successive meetings in creating a consensus in the past for many of the achievements of his government's first and second term. I won't go through all of this, but everywhere from housing to health to sanitation, all of these are the joint efforts of the center and the state, made possible by a forum like the Governing Council. The second point that I think was very important was that even though there was a record of 10 years of achievement, the clear message is that it is time to accelerate, it is possible to accelerate, and this has to be a national movement. This is not, it has to be done, it's a political movement, it needs to mobilize the entire population. This was a demonstration of solidarity of center and states. Typically, it is about the economic program, but this took place in the shadows of the Pahalgam assault, Operation Sindoor, and that was also a sub-theme of the solidarity, I would say, in the room. But with that, let me hand over to CEO Niti Aayog on any additional points he'd like to make, and then the questions.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. So I'll give a detailed briefing about the proceedings today, but also the context of today's meeting. This is the 10th meeting, as the Vice Chairman said, of the Governing Council of Niti Aayog. Niti has also completed 10 years of existence. It was formed in 2015. This is 2025. First, let me make it very clear. I think there is a sense of positivity in the room, and I think I would like to mention that very, very early on. We had 31 out of the 36 states and UTs participating. This is the highest ever participation of the Governing Council of Niti Aayog. We have had 31 participants long ago in the first meeting and maybe once more. But if you see earlier years, 26, 25, etc., that actually shows that people came with a very positive bent of mind, and the 5 states which were missing, largely we were informed in advance for a lot of other reasons, clash of commitments or health reasons. So we had Karnataka, we had Kerala, we had Puducherry, we had West Bengal, and we had Bihar. So these were the states, and we knew pretty much in advance that they are not coming. But I think you've been covering Niti Aayog for quite some time, and you'd appreciate that, the fact that there was such a large participation had a very larger context to it. Before I go into actually what was discussed, let me give a small context. I mean, Niti has been, playing a very fundamental role and contributing immensely to coordinating development decisions across the country, both at the central government level and between the center and the states. And I think that's the fundamental role that it has been playing, shaping both cooperative as well as competitive federalism. And it's been shaping national policies, shaping visions, both at the central level as well at the state levels. It's been pushing states and central government into data-driven decision making, into empirical, evaluation-based decision making, and also wherever necessary, both at the central level with ministries as well as with states, hand-holding. So I think, and Niti has been the repository of the Sustainable Development Goals. So I think that's another area which Niti has pushed. So this shows in the depth of work which Niti has done over the last 10 years. And I think it is seen now widely as a platform. And I'll refer to what PM said in this context in a minute later. The agenda for the meeting was actually basically 2 items apart from an action taken report. Firstly, the theme of the meeting itself, and the first item in the agenda was Viksit Rajya for Vikasit Bharat. Viksit Bharat Hetu Viksit Rajya. The whole idea is, in the last Governing Council, the 9th Governing Council, held just after the election in July, the Prime Minister had given a call for all states to prepare their own state visions, making their states Viksit Bihar, Viksit Orissa, Viksit Madhya Pradesh, so that they have visions which will then aggregate into a larger vision for the nation. So I think that is what drove the agenda for the last 1 year, and that's why it became the primary theme of today's Governing Council meeting. The reason for the PM giving this call last time is that India is at a turning point. It's at a takeoff stage. And this is at the cusp of a change in our growth trajectory. And given that we have solved a lot of issues regarding basic services, access to basic services, and having reduced extreme poverty to less than 5% almost, I think the country is at a takeoff stage where it can grow very, very rapidly, as has been done by many countries in the past. So this was the context. Given this, as well as the demographic dividend that India is actually blessed with for the next 20, 25 years, that we can grow rapidly, the Prime Minister gave a call that all states to prepare a vision documents at their level. And this is already visible in the growth of India. We are the fourth largest economy as I speak. We are a $4 trillion economy as I speak. And this is not my data, this is IMF data. India today is larger than Japan. So it's only the United States, China, and Germany which are larger. And if we stick to what is being planned, what is being thought through, it's a matter of another 2.5 to 3 years, we would become the third largest economy. And in this, the reason for the Prime Minister giving this call is this is a long haul, and we have to do it for about 25 years. States are fundamental. Be it industrial development, be it services, be it agriculture, be it with human capital, everything has to be done in states. And if you do not have visions for states individually, it's like actually having a bullock cart with only one, bull, not two. It will not run. So if the vehicle has to move forward, you need both center and states to work in tandem. And the good thing is, as we come here, almost 17 states have prepared and released or are on the verge of releasing their visions. 5 of them have released visions: Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, and Punjab. And I know that the other 12 ongoing will come out by August actually. June itself we'll see 3 or 4 coming out. Chhattisgarh, Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, on the verge of releasing. They're all looking for dates. Actually, so I think this flood of activity was triggered by last time. And this time, because there were other states which had not yet begun work or in very, very early stages, in the Viksit Raj for Vikasit Bharat, we have the background note gives a large detailed explanation of how do you go around preparing a vision document for a state. And the vision document is not a daydream. It is a practical, implementable document with key performance indicators which are to be monitored, and you ensure that you are on the right track. And it should also be flexible enough to accommodate changes over 25 years. So that is what it is. It should have clear targets. We've given a background note. A part of it which I have circulated to all of you will be getting before the end of this press conference, which tells you how states have gone about preparing their vision documents. In about 15-20 minutes, it will be circulated and you'll get soft copies also. States in India are the sizes of countries. So making their own vision documents is largely justified. Uttar Pradesh is the size of Brazil, and Bihar is the size of Mexico. So these visions are justified, and I think that's the context in which this Viksit Raj for Viksit Bharat was chosen as a theme. And we're given guidance on how do you set goals, how do you set targets, how do you prepare strategies, how do you have monitoring and implementation frameworks, and how do you, having done a vision document, how do you carry it forward? How do you see that it is implemented and rolled out over 25 years? There was a second set of themes, which has now been the practice with the Governing Council of NITI Aayog, that there's a Chief Secretary's Conference which happens roughly in November, December every year. So we had the 4th Chief Secretary's Conference in December last year. There we had the theme of, promoting entrepreneurship, skilling, and employment, so that we can leverage India's demographic dividend. So the outcomes of that conference also become the theme of this particular Governing Council meeting. The whole idea is the Chief Secretaries brief their Chief Ministers and they endorse the decisions of the Chief Secretaries. So we have a complete buy-in, both at the bureaucratic level as well at the political executive level, and that's how NITI Aayog builds consensus. So we had this theme within which we had sub-themes: manufacturing, services, rural, non-farm, urban, informal, and the green economy, as well as circular economy. These were the broad themes that were there. And we also gave a sample state visions and a brief, outline of that. Copies of that you will have. One of Andhra Pradesh, one of Gujarat, which are among the early ones which released their vision. It will tell you what they are aiming at, and it's quite ambitious. Andhra Pradesh is targeting to become a $2.5 trillion economy, $2.4 trillion economy. Gujarat is targeting to become an economy which is $3.5 trillion. Both are very different. You will see when you read, they are differently endowed, their contexts are different. So in this context, I think the Prime Minister, in his, when he addressed the gathering, firstly, he says the 10-year journey of Niti is a 10-year journey preparing the country for Vikasit Bharat. I think so. The acknowledgement that this particular forum is a very, very important and useful forum. And he said that Niti meetings are a platform both for joint action as well as for shared aspirations. You share aspirations among each other so that you build a consensus on what the country needs to do. And he said, नीति आयोग की ये जो बैठकें हैं, इन्होंने देश के विकास के को गति दी है, दिशा दिया है और ऊर्जा प्रदान किया है. So it has given them direction, it has given energy, and it has given speed. And he listed out a large series of achievement, which I think all of you who cover, the economic or the social spaces are familiar. 4 crore houses, 12 crore toilets, and 40 crore PMJ and Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, Ayushman Bharat coverage. So all that is there, and it was all listed. And by the way, these numbers I can keep reciting, they are phenomenal. What has been achieved in terms of the last 10 years is phenomenal, and this forms the base for taking a jump into Viksit Bharat. The strongest thing that has come out of today's meeting, but I'll keep switching between what PM said and what came out of the meeting, is there was a complete, absolute unanimity on Operation